Hello everyone, this is Anton. Today we are going to talk about how to update Jekyll. If you have been following along, you could have noticed that in my last video we were still using Jekyll version 2.5.3. The most recent Jekyll version as of today is 3.1.3. Here you can come to the conclusion that consistency has not been my 2016 resolution. In this video I'm going to show you how to update Jekyll, what's new in version 3, and things that most likely will crash after you upgrade from version 2 to 3. First thing first, to check which Jekyll version you have on your machine, type Jekyll with flag V in your terminal. To upgrade to a newer version, you can type gem update Jekyll, and boom, you have the most recent version of Jekyll on your machine. Now we can see that we have a version 3.1.3 on our machine. Before we go any further, I'm going to give you a little disclaimer, and since Jekyll has dropped off a bunch of dependencies and GitHub Pages service does not support external plugins, we're going to remove all plugins that we have in order to minimize the debugging time due to the update and be able to publish our site with GitHub Pages in the future. To remove the plugins, we'll need to remove the plugins folder, gem and gemlog files. We can also delete the textile blog post. And since Jekyll has no longer compiles CoffeeScript, we will keep it classy with vanilla.js from now on. And the only place where the plugins we used had the output is the blog page, so let's remove the approximate reading time too. Now if you try to run Jekyll serve, you can see right in the terminal that some of the JS files cannot be loaded on pages beyond the front page, which comes in handy. To fix, let's prefix the path to JS files with a slash and remove grid script as we're no longer using it. Now our site will load as usual. We are not getting any errors, and this is a good sign. Now we can talk about the key differences between version 2 and 3. You can head over to Jekyll website where you can read more on each new update. Or you can head over to documentation and find a detailed view on updating from version 2 to 3. Also, you can watch this video and follow along with your Jekyll setup and get a better hands-on experience. The Collections API has changed. We have not talked about collections in previous videos, and since its API is currently unstable and could be changed, I'm not going to cover it in this video. Let's take a look at the dependencies that did not make it to version 3. Jekyll paginate. This plugin lets us to enable pagination for the times when you don't want to have an enormous list of posts on a single page. Since this plugin did not play nicely with some of the more fundamental Jekyll features, it was decided to let it go until a better solution is found. Jekyll Gist is used to embed GitHub Gist into a Jekyll website. Pigments is the code highlighter plugin. Now Jekyll uses Rouge. This only affects the code that you output as text on your pages. We have not done any of that yet, so we will be alright with Rouge. Redcarpet is a markdown processor and we can totally do without it. Toml. In case you don't like using YAML for a configuration file, this plugin can let you use Toml format for configurations. Classify Reborn is used to output related posts. Some of the other changes in new Jekyll version include new features such as future posts. Future posts are disabled by default. In previous version, if you give a post a date that has not come yet, the post would get generated regardlessly. With the new version, this post will get generated only if you serve or build your site with a future flag. To show that, let's create a post with some dummy content and give it a date that is far from now. As the website is still being served without future tag, we won't be able to see the post on our blog page. Now let's run Jekyll using future flag. And now we can see the future post right along with our previous posts. Layout metadata. Earlier, all metadata was accessible via page using a dot notation. Now you can assign metadata to your layout files and access it using the same liquid tag layout with dot notation. To illustrate it, let's add a feature to the blog layout and I'll put it underneath our main title. Now we can see it on our page. Permalinks. From version 3, all permalinks must be relative to the source directory. If on build you get a permalink error, you can fix it by approving relative permalinks in the config file. I'm okay with the way I set up my permalinks, and if I try to run Jekyll with approved relative permalinks, I'll get an error. Therefore, with my setup, I don't need to use it. Also, now the permalinks don't have a trailing slash in the URL. This may cause you to land on full pages. To fix it, you can either add a trailing slash to a permalink or edit the links itself in the code. Overall, these are the major changes that happened to Jekyll for the time of my absence. In the future videos, we're going to talk about post drafts, collections, data files, blog migration from other platforms, deployment, and continuous integration. Once again, all the documentation and links from this video are in the description. If you have any questions or suggestions for the future videos, leave them in the comments below. See you in the next video. Bye.